Demon Slayer is an anime series that captivates viewers with its stunning animation, thrilling plot and lovable characters. But one of the most appealing aspects of the show is the incredible display of power by both the heroes and the villains. From the stunning water breathing to the terrifying upper moon demons, the explosive battle between Rengoku and Akaza, or the triumphant gathering of the Hashiras, these are the top 10 showcases of power in Demon Slayer, ranked based on their impact on the plot, their creativity and originality, and just their sheer awesomeness. First up, we have the introduction of the insect Hashira Shinobu. Shinobu Gocho is one of the most intriguing and complex characters in Demon Slayer. What she lacks for strength in cutting down demons, she makes up with her cunning and preference for poisons, using a special sword to inject deadly concoctions, one that aims to make a demon suffer before the sweet release of death. Her power comes from how she uses her hatred for demons in a more clever way than others. Her introduction completely flips our expectations of what other Hashiras might be, and while her introduction is ranked the lowest on this list, the fact that it even made it here amongst the numerous flashy sword fights and demonic blood arts proves that power can come from anything. Shinobu's power comes from harnessing her weakness into her strength, making the demons that are unlucky to cross her path wishing their heads were already off their bodies by the time her poison courses through their veins. Quite possibly one of the few hand-to-hand beatdowns on this list, we have the battle between Nezuko and Daki in the Entertainment District arc. The fight begins when Nezuko arrives at the scene where Tanjiro is battling Daki, an upper-ranked demon who can manipulate her sashes to attack and devour people. Daki mocks Nezuko for being a weak and pathetic demon who can't even help her brother. This enrages Nezuko as she undergoes a transformation that enhances her physical abilities and gives her access to blood demon art. She unleashes a powerful blast of fire that burns Daki's sashes and injures her. She then engages Daki in close-range combat using her claws, fangs, and kicks to overpower her. Even Daki was taken by complete surprise by this version of Nezuko's resilience. The fight between awakened Nezuko and Daki is a stunning display of power, skill, and emotion. It shows how far Nezuko has come since she became a demon and how much she cares for Tanjiro. It also shows how Daki and Gyutaro are driven by their twisted love for each other and their hatred for humans. The fight is a clash of ideals, values, and destinies between two pairs of siblings who have different views on what it means to be a demon. This next one is probably the most shocking reveal in the Entertainment District arc. The introduction of Gyutaro as the real main antagonist of the Entertainment District arc completely flipped the minds of us audience and the protagonists, as he proved to be one of the most formidable enemies that Tanjiro and his friends have faced so far. He is introduced as the upper rank 6th demon who shares a body with his younger sister Daki. The scene of him slowly emerging from her back when she's about to be killed by Tengen Uzui, the Sound Hashira, is a perfect example of how to introduce a threatening villain. With every demon slayer in the room feeling the chill in the air as this unknown demon appears after them, his aura even tenses up the formidable Tengen. Just like how Kaguya appeared after Madara's defeat in Naruto, Gyutaro's introduction is a shocking and horrifying twist that changes the dynamics of the arc. It shows that Daki wasn't the only threat, but rather the hiding spot for an unstoppable monster that is her brother. The progenitor himself and the source of all the misery that's been inflicted on our characters so far, Kibutsuji Muzan makes it to the list. Akaza. Right after Akaza's retreat following his battle with Rengoku, he then reported everything back to Muzan himself, disguising himself as a child, which in turn just makes the whole scene eerie and off-putting because of the contradiction of a child's perceived personality compared to Muzan's brutality and uncaring personality. But what makes this whole scene more terrifying and worthy is the fact that he made Akaza bleed and also probably fear for his own life due to the mistake that he made and that he failed to eliminate the 3 other demon slayers in the scene. Muzan, by simply looking at him, presumably deteriorated and and destroyed his cells, which is possible due to the fact that Akaza originally received blood from him, therefore making him subservient under his control at all times. The very thought of being under a cold-hearted and ruthless man's control at all times is terrifying enough on its own, but if you add in the fact that he's really hard to please and takes no excuses for an answer, then what you get is one of the most intimidating villains in anime currently. The penultimate moment in the Entertainment District arc, we can add the final fight between Tengen and Gyotaro to the list of legendary fights in this anime. Both fighters are pumped up in their own way, with Tengen determined to avenge his 3 wives and Gyotaro equally determined to protect his sister. The two clash with their swords and techniques, creating a spectacle of sound and fury. The fight between Tengen and Gyotaro is a stunning display of power, skill, and emotion. It showcases the strength and determination of both combatants, as well as their contrasting views on love and loyalty. The final clash between 2 of the strongest powerhouses of the season. It's clear, however, that the real winner in this fight is the Sound Hashira himself, withstanding and matching Gyotaro's attacks blow for blow and ultimately decapitating him, all the while fighting with only one hand. His determination to will every fibre in his body to continue to fight and win is exactly the reason why he's on this list. When it comes to speed and precision, Zenitsu ain't no slouch. In the final moments in the Entertainment District arc, we get to see how much Zenitsu has improved and grown over the course of the series, and his new technique Godspeed is the culmination of all of that. As the fight drew closer to the end, Zenitsu found himself trapped under rubble after being overwhelmed and beaten by Daki. However, using his Godspeed, Zenitsu broke out of it and then proceeded to use Godspeed again to blitz Daki with such immense speed that she didn't even get the chance to react to it. With his speed, Zenitsu managed to make an opening, which was later assisted by Inosuke to finish up the fight. This fight alone was teeming with moments that greatly fit this list, and Zenitsu is certainly one of them. Despite him only being capable of using a single form, Zenitsu still found a way to work around it. By making other, albeit tweaked versions of the thunder-breathing fist form, Zenitsu was able to produce different variations of it, such as the fist form 6-fold and 8-fold, and the newest edition, first form Godspeed. You can make fun of this coward all you want, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a capable fighter. Next up on the chopping block, we have Tanjiro utilizing the Hinokami Kagura, otherwise known as sun breathing. With his battle against Rui, we really get to see firsthand what this breathing style is capable of. At the height of the battle, Tanjiro is at death's door by the looks of it, with his life flashing right before his eyes. He was reminded of his father's teachings, which ultimately saved his life, because this event was the first instance where Hinokami Kagura was used, which drastically changed the flow of the battle. With the use of this breathing technique, Tanjiro was able to easily cut Rui's threads and gently overwhelm him with attacks aimed at his neck. Yes, the sun breathing could do with a little work for this instance, but do keep in mind, this was the first time Tanjiro used it, and other than that, he was also fighting a demon. That's way more powerful for him to face this early on in the series. He didn't manage to kill the demon, but the fact that he went toe-to-toe with it and overwhelmed it to the point that it had to resort to drastic measures to live just shows how much power and potential Tanjiro has. As Tanjiro is on the verge of death and running out of options, things looked dire for our protagonist, but when all hope was lost, Giyu arrived in the nick of time to save him and his sister, easily nullifying Rui's webs by using a water-breathing technique form that he himself made from scratch, and this act was a feat on its own. The amount of skill and experience alone needed to accomplish this is unfathomable, but what elevated this moment more was in the manner that he dispatches the demon. After witnessing how easily his attack was shredded apart, Rui was understandably surprised and panicked. From his perspective, his attack was seemingly rendered useless by an attack that he himself did not even see, but the disrespect didn't end there. As Rui readies his second attack, all we can see from his point of view is Giyu slowly walking towards him, and with a flash of an eye, the battle ends, with him being decapitated yet again by an attack they didn't even see coming. This scene alone shows why Hashiras are so revered and looked upon within the Demon Slayer Corps. Not only did Giyu showcase his talent through the display of a breathing technique that he invented, but he also showcased his skill by gracefully and quickly dispatching a demon belonging to the lower rank of the 12 Kizuki, an act befitting the Water Hashira indeed. The fight that broke the internet and our hearts, Rengoku vs Akaza. When talking about a list that's all about showcasing power, then this fight has not only one, but two characters simultaneously one-upping each other all throughout the fight. The Flame Hashira Rengoku going up against the battle-crazed upper rank 3 Akaza. In their final confrontation, the two duke it out as we get to witness Rengoku going all out and single-handedly taking on one of the 6 upper-ranking demons all by himself. Akaza is dictating the flow of the fight and slowly overpowering Rengoku, all the while imposing his philosophy onto him. With each flurry of attacks, the pair also received injuries from each other. The only difference is, Akaza can quickly recover using his superior regeneration. It all came to an end though when Rengoku lunges forth with a powerful and precise blow to Akaza, but that strike came at the price of his life. And as the dust settles and smoke clears, Akaza delivers a decisive blow into Rengoku. This fight mainly showcased how threatening and dangerous the upper 6 demons are, and this fight certainly conveyed that message pretty well. But Rengoku's great sense of duty and steadfastness was a sight to behold. Following the death of Rui, Muzan summoned the rest of the lower moons to show his frustration and disappointment at them for being an obsolete and replaceable part of his 12 Gizuki, and what better way to show it than to personally kill them himself. Systematically killing them off one by one with not even a single chance of escape or bargaining. One of them did try to run away, but he quickly found out what happens when you do something like that when you're in front of your boss. Yeah, that's right. A swift decapitation. We've only seen Muzan a couple of times all throughout the first season of the show, but despite this, he completely dominates every scene that he's in, and the meeting with the lower moons is by far his greatest display of power. Not just physical power, but also his influence. His mere presence alone is enough to make demons sweat profusely, and the fact that he can also read the demons' very thoughts just makes Muzan all the more imposing. The idea that even in your thoughts that you're not safe is scary enough on its own if you think about it. A very fitting villain for being the progenitor of the demons, if I do say so myself. And those are my top picks for the top 10 showcases of power in Demon Slayer so far. There are bound to be even more awesome displays of power in the future. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. See you in the next one.